Well, I've been putting off telling my listeners this for quite some time. You may have noticed that there hasn't been an episode of The Hour of Comics is Upon Us in a few months. I don't know how long it's actually been since the last one, but the truth is, I never actually liked comic books. It started off as a joke. It started off as me kind of like pointing and laughing at people who read comic books. Then it kind of picked up steam, and then I just felt really silly doing it. So I'm gonna have to put the hour of comics is upon us aside permanently so that I can focus on my true passion, which is flat earth praise. I love the idea that the earth is flat and that man never landed on the moon and that gravity is a figment of all of our imaginations, except for the people who are not indoctrinated. And here's the thing, we used to think that comic books were like fantasy. Comic books are the real thing. And they teach us about things like mutations and whatever, like superhero origin stories where things like radiation and things like spider bites, they're actually good for you, and they make you become superheroes. And so now that I know that it's not actually fiction, I just can't do it anymore. So I'm focusing on my flat earth podcast. We're talking about how the earth is perfectly flat and the North Pole is in the center, and every direction that faces away from the North Pole is south, and then how it all makes perfect sense if you look at it logically. So, thank you for being wonderful listeners, and I hope you listen to my new podcast. But this comic book thing, it just never appealed to me, and the joke has gotten stale. And yet I brought the joke on for way too long. I will have to make sure that never happens again. So thank you for all your support. Thank you for listening. Uh, I'm sorry, Jason and Keith, that you have to be hearing about it this way. But I'm sure you'll find another podcast to be on. We'll all be great. So thanks. And I'll see you on the other podcast.